Hi, everybody, and delighted that you could join us today for this webinar on the graduate taught programs that we offer here in the UCD School of Mechanical and Materials Engineering. So just before we go into the programs, I'm just going to give you a couple of headline facts about our school. So we're the largest school in the UC College of Engineering and Architecture, and we're the largest school of mechanical engineering in Ireland. So we have about 40% of all taught students between our undergraduate and our postgraduate taught students. Our school has grown quite a lot over the last 5 to 10 years. We've got 40 academics with a wide variety of expertise, and all of them teach on our master's programs. And overall, between researchers, technical staff, and other support staff, we have over 100 people working in the school. We're very successful in research, and then that helps us deliver really good taught master's programs. So our research funding over the last 5 years has been over 30 million euros. And some examples of prestigious research labs that we have and that our master's students get access to as part of their courses is the Research Ireland IFORM National Centre for Advanced Manufacturing and the Micro Nano Manufacturing Technology Centre. And another thing that we're very proud of is being involved in the design and launch of Ireland's first satellite in 2023. So that was called AirSat 1. So that was manufactured and designed and built between ourselves and the School of Physics. And it went into space successfully in December 2023 with a design period of 2 years. So it's just completed its mission in September and has successfully deorbited. And the team are now working on, AirSat 2 and other space applications. Our school really breaks down into four main areas when it comes to our taught programs and our research. So we've taught programs in advanced manufacturing, energy systems engineering, material science and engineering, and biomedical engineering. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk to you about the 1 year MNJC programs. So these are our 90 credit programs. They commence in September and the students spend 3 academic semesters with us until the end of the following August. And you'll hear from one of our students on this program shortly, robotics and intelligent manufacturing. So the robotics and intelligent manufacturing masters is relatively new. It's an exciting masters given the way industry is going around Industry 4.0. And the idea is we want to produce experts that have the scientific and technical knowledge, but also the hands-on practical skills in the area of robotics, smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0. So the types of things you'll learn over this 1 year master's program, you'll learn about digital manufacturing, intelligent manufacturing, different types of simulations, data and machine learning and artificial intelligence is obviously very important. So there's quite a heavy emphasis on that. You'll have exposure to the different types of robots, whether they're the industrial, collaborative, and mobile robots, sensors, and smart devices. And then during the summer term, so that's the third term of the program from May to August, you'll work on an applied research project that has company involvement. And that could be with a robotics company, an automation company, or a system integration company. So suppose if you want to take the master's in robotics and intelligent manufacturing, you'd want to know, well, where could you work? And there's three main types of companies that I think you could work in. First of all, you could work in what's called a system integrator. An example of a company we worked with on a student project last summer is Tetra Pak. So Tetra Pak build from end to end the entire automation process as a contract for clients. So they're called a system integrator. So they could do everything from the sensors, the automation, the robotics, the equipment, and then they, turn up to the client and they install it and commission it in their manufacturing facility. So you could work with system integrators. You could work with some of the major multinationals who use robotics in their production systems. So obviously, automotive is an area where there's a huge amount of automation and robotics. So you could work as an automation engineer in a manufacturing company that has adopted a large amount of robotics. And then the third area I think you could work in is you could work for a robotics company designing the next generation of robotic systems that you can then sell to either the system integrators or the major clients. So that's the first program. The second program is our MNGSC in engineering management. And this has been running for quite a number of years now, and it's been very successful because it allows engineering graduates with a wide range of backgrounds. So you could have a mechanical background, a civil background, a chemical, an electronic, yeah, software engineering background. And what you are interested in here is you're interested in technology management. So you want to understand how you can manage different types of technology in manufacturing companies or engineering service companies. So the program spans a wide range of industries, sectors, and different types of companies. So you want to become an engineering manager, the next generation of engineering leaders. So what are you going to learn in this program? You're going to learn about project management, supply chain design, analysis and modeling, engineering decision support systems, operations management, systems analysis and improvement, quality tools, data analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, but you'll also learn some business courses such as marketing and information systems. And again, this program has an applied summer project. So again, we invite companies to propose research projects for the students. The students are assigned in groups to a company and they work on that in kind of a consultancy basis. And it's a very good way to get to know some companies. And often the students who work on the summer projects with companies get hired by those companies in their graduate programs. So where could you work with the Masters in Engineering Science in Engineering Management? So you could work as a project manager. So there's a number of project management consultancies like PM Group, but you could also work as a project manager in a manufacturing or an engineering services company. Some of our graduates go into the business consultancy companies like Accenture and Deloitte. And Accenture and Deloitte and those type of companies, they really like the graduates from this program because they're trying to build up their capabilities in automation, artificial intelligence, data analytics. So they like to hire people who have a technical background from your bachelor's, but then understand the business environment from this master's. You could work in data analytics. So again, you could work in manufacturing or service companies or consultancy companies in the area of data analytics. Or you could work in, process analysis and improvement because you're going to be equipped with the systems analysis and the quality management tools, again, to work in, manufacturing companies, to work in engineering service companies, to engage in process improvement. So that's the first two master's programs. And then the third master's, 1 year master's programs that we offer is in material science and engineering. So material science and engineering is quite interdisciplinary. And it's a very broad program because the content looks at, well, what happens at the molecular level or the atomic level for the different types of material structures. But then what happens when you take, those molecules or atoms and then make a large type of engineering material and for different types of engineering applications. So the types of things that you're going to learn in this program is you're going to learn the fundamentals and the advanced content in material science and engineering. You're going to learn about different types of materials such as composites, technical ceramics, advanced polymers, metals and metal alloys, so advanced metals processing, thermodynamics, and kinetics. And the types of summer research projects that you would work on there, again, would align with the expertise of the staff in the school. We have colleagues who work on next generation batteries for automotive applications. We have colleagues who work on space materials, who work on automotive materials, or who work on materials for biomedical devices. So there's a wide variety of industries and sectors that you could work in if you do the material science and engineering masters. A lot of our graduates go into the biomedical sector. So the biomedical sector, so the likes of Stryker, Dupuy, and so on, it's a very strong presence in Ireland of those biomedical multinational companies. So the understanding the different types of materials for knee implants, hip implants is a key part of their business. The space industry in Ireland and Europe is really growing, and there's a requirement for lightweight and flexible but very functional materials for space applications. So you could work for any of the space companies or the European Space Agency or NASA. Some of our graduates go into materials processing roles. So this is a picture of an injection molding machine. So this is where you would have expertise in polymer engineering and polymer materials for different types of applications for consumer goods, for medical devices. 3D metal printing is an area that our school has a lot of expertise in. I mentioned at the start, one of the prestigious labs that we have in our school is the IFORM Centre for the National Centre for Advanced Manufacturing. And a lot of the research in IFORM is around the science and materials of 3D metal printing. And again, that links quite nicely in with the biomedical sector. So, companies like Dupuy, instead of casting their components out of molten metal and then doing some finishing processes, they're using 3D metal printing to manufacture the hip and knee implants, and then they require not as much post-processing as the traditional cast components. And then you could work in the electronic sector. So part of the program will look at functional electronic materials. So obviously we're familiar with companies like AMD and Nvidia who are coming out with next generation electronics chips to power the AI industry. So there's a lot of demand for material science engineers to work in the electronics material sector. So they're the three one-year master's programs that we offer in the school. So robotics and intelligent manufacturing, engineering management, and material science and engineering. We also offer 5 2-year programs in the school, and they're 120 credits. So you would start in September of year one and finish in June of year two. And there's quite a bit of overlap between our one-year programs and our 2-year programs. So we have a 2-year program in mechanical engineering. So you can look at things like dynamics and fluids and thermodynamics. As well as the one-year program in materials, we also offer 2-year programs in material science and engineering. So again, the same type of career opportunities exist for that. We have a 2-year program, engineering with business. So the students who take the one-year program in engineering management would take a lot of their classes with the engineering with business students. So again, the types of careers that you could have with that type of 2-year program in the area of consulting, data analytics, process improvement, business consulting. We have a 2-year program in biomedical engineering. So again, you could work in any of the biomedical engineering companies, like Boston Scientific, Stryker, Dupuy. So if you're interested in the knee or hip implants side of things, or are you interested in the cardiac type of equipment like pacemakers and new heart valves and catheters and things like that? Or do you want to work in the biomedical equipment monitoring? So again, more on the electrical electronic side of things. And then finally, we offer a 2-year master's program in energy systems engineering. And a major focus on that is sustainable energy systems. So a lot of focus on different types of renewable energy and then how the renewable energy can be linked into the energy grid. So graduates from that programs will work in energy generation companies. They could work for the energy providers. They could work for the infrastructure companies that manage that manage the electricity generation grid. And then just to mention about the 2-year programs in particular, they're professionally accredited by Engineers Ireland. Engineers Ireland is the professional statutory body in Ireland for the engineering profession. But the advantage of a UCD degree that's accredited by Engineers Ireland is that it's recognised globally through what's called the Washington Accord. So lots of countries' engineering professional organisation sign up to the Washington Accord. So for instance, if you graduate with a UCD 2-year master's degree, well then you can, for instance, go and work in Canada, your degree is recognised, or you could go and work in Australia, your degree is recognised. And it also allows you to become, after about 5 years, a chartered engineer, so a professionally qualified engineer. The ME, the 2-year program in material science and engineering, that also has a second accreditation by the Institute of Materials, Metals and Mining, who are a UK-based organisation. And again, another difference between the 1 year program and the 2 year program is that there is an internship organized for all of the 2 year programs, and that's centrally coordinated through the College of Engineering and Architecture. Students generally go on their placement in January of first year, and that placement then will run until August of first year. So it's about 6 to 8 months, depending on the company. And then you come back to college for the second year of the program, which is a mixture of coursework and your research project. But the advantage of the internship, if you're interested in coming on a 2 year program to UCD, a lot of our students get a job offer from their internship host company. So it's a very nice thing to have coming back in your second year to have a job offer from your internship company. So that's it. We've got 3 1 year master's programs and we've got 5 2 year master's programs in the School of Mechanical and Materials Engineering. I know you're going to hear from some of our students now, and there's an opportunity, as Laura said, to put any questions to any of us through the chat throughout the webinar. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vincent. And we're going to move on now to our student experience piece. So first up, we have is Yashraj, who is one of our current students for our Robotics and Intelligent Manufacturing program.
Yeah. Hi guys. So first of all, good evening. My name is Yashraj Zadav, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in robotics and intelligent manufacturing here at UCD. And I'm here today to share my UCD journey with you. What drew me to this institution, my academic experience, and the incredible support systems available, and how this UCD is shaping my future career. So yeah, let's dive in. So, first of all, why I chose UCD. So, as you all know, UCD has a global recognition. It comes under the top 1% of the world universities. Recently, it has been ranked 118th globally in the QS of 2026. Secondly, industry connections. UCD has strong links with the leading employers and organizations globally. For someone pursuing robotics and manufacturing, this means an access to internships, collaborations, and career opportunities with top tier companies. That is in my field, but all the other courses have the same situation. Then the third, the campus. It is a modern campus. The Belfield campus is a state of art with cutting edge infrastructure, modern laboratories, and innovating learning spaces. Then the research excellence university is home to world-class research centers and innovation hubs. Being a part of this ecosystem means I'm learning from researchers at the forefront of robotics and manufacturing. Fifth will be the international support. So UCD Global provides comprehensive support, especially for the international students, from visa guidance to career integration and academic support tailored for students from abroad. And finally, the campus safety. The campus is safe and secure with 24-hour security, CCTV coverage, and services like safe walk programs. And this was important to me as an international student coming to a new country. Then let's talk about the academic experience. So here the learning goes beyond the classroom. We have different types of dynamic discussions, debates, and many different presentations. And this there's not just classroom work. There's significant amount of hands-on laboratory work. We don't just learn about manufacturing principles, we implement them. We get to work with actual equipment and cutting edge technology. Considering some of the subjects are management based, like one of my module is supply chain management. So for that, we have an amazing simulation game that we play to manage our own company and increasing its profits. It's great for pursuing management careers, and it's not just yeah, and the professors here, they are not just knowledgeable, they are understanding and genuinely helpful. They care about the students' development, and more importantly, they encourage independent learning. They don't just spoon feed you answers, they guide you to find solutions yourself. And this is the approach that I think develops critical thinking and problem solving things. Then the most what I found most interesting about the UCD is the practical projects, real world applications, the hands on experience, expert faculty, then, as I said, state of the art facilities, collaborative environment. We work with our peers, some PhD students. We work in hand with them for our projects and everything. They are very helpful. And at UCD, you get many different support systems. So from academic point of view, there are many library facilities. Like in the campus itself, there are 5 to 6 libraries that you can visit, and they have study rooms where you can study independently without the noise of the outside world. Then they have career services like CV workshops, job boards, then employee recruitments. Then mentoring network, they have alumni mentorship and professional network. I'm also part of that alumni buddy program where they assign a alumni buddy for you, so for a mentorship and all. Then different well-being services like counseling, disability support, and student welfare. Uh, Many of you are international students, so settling into Ireland might be difficult, but it had made easy via the UCD orientation. It is very welcoming. And even before I arrived to UCD, UCD Global was in touch with me, providing me pre-arrival information, visa guidance, and accommodation help. And the orientation week was fantastic, not just for academics, but for meeting people and getting to know the campus. The campus life is very remarkable with students from almost 153 countries. You don't feel like an outsider. There are international student societies, cultural clubs, and friends from similar backgrounds. Then, practically speaking, UCD services go beyond orientation. If you need any help with the immigration issues, adjusting to Irish life, or even just cultural challenges, there are many support groups for it. You student help desk also helps it, and there are many different UCD WhatsApp groups where you can find guidance from previous students and help for in finding accommodation outside of campus. Then the extracurricular activities. I mean, there are over 96 student societies and 55 plus sports clubs. This ranges from academic societies related to specific fields to cultural and international clubs, sports teams, arts and drama groups, and everything in between. For me personally, I'm a part of badminton society, film society, then engineering society, and then a football club, and UCD also offers a gym which is free for to use, and this gym membership has been helping me a lot. Yeah, and these clubs help develop teamwork, leadership skills, and networking, and how to manage your times. On a side note, if you are in the engineering campus, every other day there's a coffee store, coffee for you. Means engineering society arranges coffee and biscuits for the students early morning. So it's quite refreshing to have that. Yeah, that's all. Eh, Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yashraj. Really lovely to hear about your experience.
Yeah.
So our next student up is Adishri, and she's currently doing our MNGC, our one-year program in engineering management.
Hello everyone. I'm Adishri. Just a minute, let me present the screen. Um, yeah. Hello everyone. I'm Adishri. I'm currently a master's student in engineering management program at UCD. Fun fact: I used to design electric vehicles for a living, and then I realized something pretty important. Brilliant engineering absolutely means nothing if the product isn't in place. So here I am learning to actually run a business. Today I want to walk you through why I made this pivot, what made UCD's program genuinely different, and where it's taking me. Let's dive in. Okay, so a quick background. I did my BTech in mechanical engineering in India. Then I spent a couple of years in the EV industry, early startups. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like a chaos of startup to teach you hard lessons about business. Here's the thing. I was genuinely good at the technical stuff, but couldn't design powertrain. I could design powertrains, optimize thermal systems, solve engineering problems, but I kept watching brilliant technical solutions go for a toss that had nothing to do with engineering. Why? Because maybe the supply chain was broken. We didn't understand our market because we were making decisions like we were guessing. Honestly, we'd optimize for technical perfection and forget that we need to actually deliver global profitability and predictability. Well, that's when it hit me. I was solving half the equation. I was the engineer who could build an amazing car, but I couldn't tell you why we were building it and how we would deliver it, what would it cost, or whether anyone actually wanted it. I realized I needed to learn strategy, operations, how to make decisions when you don't have the perfect information, how to lead people across functions and geographies, how to think like a business leader and not just an engineer. Mm, well, that's how I chose engineering management. It's not about leaving engineering behind. It's about amplifying everything that I already knew with business acumen. And honestly, that combination, a technical foundation plus strategic thinking, that's what I wanted. Uh, so I applied to several programs and UCD stood out. Not for the reasons you might think. It's about ranking or brand names, but what you actually learn here. Most business programs, they're theory heavy. You sit in lectures, memorize frameworks, you write case study analysis. Well, nothing wrong with that, but that's not how you actually develop as a leader, right? UCD was different. The philosophy here is show me, involve me, try me, let me fail and let me learn. Well, we have workshops here, not just lectures, lab works, amplifying theory immediately. We have real projects with real stakes. And here's the kicker, the last applied company consultancy project. Well, we just don't do case studies about the company problems. We work on actual briefs that from actual companies, real problems, real solutions, and real feedback. Uh, I'm learning alongside engineers from everywhere over the world, China, Europe, India, Middle East, everywhere. Every project has global perspectives built in. The faculty, well, like Yashad said, they really care about the development, not just academically, but professionally, personally. They're invested in you becoming a better leader and not just passing the exams, honestly. Uh, right. So nice philosophy, but do we actually do? So we have a common subject, supply chain design. It does sound boring, but well, let me tell you about it. We ran simulation games. So it was basically playing a real supply chain in fast forward. Orders come in, demand shift, inventory piles up, and then you think you're crushing it on one day, but then on day two, everything falls apart. Genuinely, you've created a bullwhip effect without. So we're learning with action, and it was a chaos, let me tell you. But then here's the genius part. The failure teaches you that than any lecture ever could. You feel demand forecasting went wrong when you see the cost of supply chain depreciating. Well, we took those lessons and applied them in the real case studies. We also had Apple's case study for supply chain and how it handled the whole system, and that's how we implemented what we learned in the class in real life. We also have another subject called data analytics, where I'm learning Python, Excel, honestly for the first time, then statistical modeling, but then not the abstract, uh, but then you're allowed to solve real problems. You're thinking like a data analyst and a business leader simultaneously. Well, there's project management. And lastly, the final piece, the applied research project. You integrate everything. You work on a real company, real problem, real stake. That's when you realize that you can actually do it. And you're not here for learning, but becoming a professional who can handle real challenges. One thing that surprised me is how broad this degree is. I honestly came here for supply chain and data analytics, but they forced me to engage with quality management, marketing, organizational behavior, business information system. At first, I was like, oh, why am I taking marketing? But then I realized this. I mean, that's the exact point. You're not becoming a narrow specialist, you're becoming a T shaped professional, uh, deep technical skills in one or two areas, but broad business thinking across everything. That breadth is is your superpower. Maybe you come in wanting operations, then realize mid-program way more excited about product strategy, or you discover organizational transformation fascinates you. Well, the program gives the space to explore and lets you specialize in your final project. And here's why this matters. When industries shift fast and they do EV, clean tech, AI-driven manufacturing, you're not trapped. You can pivot. You have options. You're not locked into one career path. And basically, that's not a limitation. That's a freedom. Mm, well, let's go beyond classrooms. UCD invests in your professional growth as well. Career services, industry partnerships, in internship networks. That's a standard good university. But here's what genuinely transformed my experience: the Alumni Buddy Program. Well, I am a mentee in the Alumni Buddy Program, and they paired me with a UCD graduate who is now working in industry. We have real conversations, not like here's a framework, but then here's what it actually like to navigate early career and how you position yourself for the roles you want. But here's where the real opportunities are. And I think about the career moves that I can go next. That connection, it's priceless. You're not just learning from curriculum, you're learning from someone who's walked your path before, who's figured what worked and what did not. That kind of mentorship doesn't show in glossy brochures, honestly, but it's genuinely transformating. And that kind of support that changes careers. Uh, so my, uh, that's all. And life at UCD, basically, let's talk about the actual life here. Because if a program is not grinding, it's not sustainable. Coming to Ireland as an international student in India was honestly a significant change. But here's the thing: UCD has created a genuine community for me. Well, I'm heavily into sports, cricket, boxing, and I'm trying archery next semester because why not? The facilities here are quite actually excellent. And more importantly, the student communities are genuinely welcoming. You show up to a cricket practice, you're not the international student, you're just part of the team. That matters more than you think. Campus is very beautiful. The lake is genuinely peaceful. Where your brain is fried from problem sets, you go for a walk there. And the library is real cool. And this might sound silly, but the deli has genuinely good sandwiches. But beyond the physical stuff, here's something more important. International students are valued here, not just tolerated. In class discussions, you're heard. In societies, you're welcomed. In support systems, you're treated like you belong. That makes all the difference when you're far from home. Okay, so where does the journey take me? Honestly, I'm genuinely interested in multiple paths: product management, building products that matter, strategy consulting, helping companies think differently, or potentially building something in the EV and mobility space for myself. Or maybe operational leadership in a global organization. I'm optimistic about these options because I'm walking in with the real lived industry experiences. I've seen what works in scrappy, resource-constrained environments. I've failed, I've learned. And now I'm adding formal training in strategy, data analytics, operations, organizational thinking. That's rare. That combination of technical foundation, real experience, plus structured business acumen. That's that's different. And I feel my course is giving me that leverage and that uh, push in wherever I want to head. Oh, well, so that's my story. I came to UCD to bridge the gap between my technical expertise and strategic business leadership. And that's what I'm getting. Uh, well, if you want to ask any questions about the program, campus life, navigating the international student experience, feel free to reach me or I'm open for questions. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks so much, Adishri. Really lovely to hear about your experience so far. So we are going to open the floor up to some questions now. And we have some coming through the Q&A button already. And if our attendees listening haven't had a chance to put them in, pop them in now. We'll get through as many as we can in the time we have left. So there's just Vincent, I'll ask you. The first one that came up was just in relation to the MEM, so the part-time version of the engineering management program. Is there any update on that, or someone was just asking about options available for those who are working?
Yeah, we're the I see the first question there from Grace. So we're no longer running the MEM. So that was the 2-year part-time program, which was designed for people who are based in industry. There was no longer sufficient demand, unfortunately, for that program. It was very successful when it ran, but really we're putting a lot of our effort now into the programs that Adishri and Yashraj have described, and they're going very well. We have done some offerings in micro credentials, so that's offering specialist part-time courses to industry professionals for upskilling, and that will continue, and we hope to scale that activity. So the microcreds website in UCD, it's UCD microcreds, would be a good place to look if somebody is based in industry and they're interested in taking a couple of UCD modules on a standalone basis for professional development reasons.
Great. And then relation to our ME programs, our 2-year programs that all have an internship as part of the curriculum, and what does the student internship process look like, or how do students secure their internships, and are there internship opportunities to go abroad?
Yeah, like the vast majority of our students do stay in Ireland, but certainly a number of them go abroad, whether it's to the UK, to kind of continental Europe, and some students will arrange their own internship, maybe in their home country. That's fine, but the vast majority of our students will go through the formal internship process. So we have two great people in the engineering internship office who manage the entire process between the companies and the students. The internship managers put out a call to the companies. Are you interested in offering an internship this year? They gather those job specifications. They publish them to students. Students then apply as you would, let's say, a normal job. They're interviewed by the company. And then if you're offered a placement with a company, you have to take it. You can't kind of game the system and decide, well, maybe I'll get another placement somewhere else, or I'll have 3 or 4 offers on the go, and I'll decide. You have to take the first one you're given, otherwise you have to sort yourself out, and that's just really for fairness to all our students. So, like across all our engineering programs, the placement office is placing about 250 students per year. We have no problem placing students. Companies love them. Some companies take more than one student. Companies come back year on year because they really like the UCD students. So, it's like a mini recruitment process for companies, and it's managed centrally through the College of Engineering.
And sorry, are those internships paid as well?
Yes, most are, and we would consider it important, even just from an ethical point of view, that students would be paid. So they tend to be paid at kind of a pro rata graduate entry rate, for by the company. So
Great,
certainly,
thank
it's not companies don't see it as free labor, and we would not be willing to accept that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. And then someone's asking just in relation to our engineering with business program, does doing the master's and having the additional aspect of business limit job opportunities in mechanical engineering industries, or does it open up other areas of, for students to go into with that master's?
Yeah, it actually opens up new areas because so the person asking that Jacob is asking the question, so I'm assuming Jacob has a mechanical engineering background. So during the business program, the 2-year program, you still will take some core advanced mechanical engineering modules. And then on top of it, you will take the business and management modules. Where it opens up new opportunities to, let's say, mechanical engineers is in the area of consultancy and data analytics. So we see more and more of our students with maybe mechanical engineering backgrounds, but with the business masters, getting access now to the business consultancy companies, because the companies really like the students because they've got that. I think it was Adishri mentioned that T-shaped individual. They've got the mechanical expertise, and then they've got the business management T on top. So they're able to fit into those technology consultancy companies. So rather than close options, I think it certainly opens up new opportunities for students with whether it's mechanical or electronic or any other civil engineering background.
Great, thank you. And then there was a question, and we may not know the answer to this here. If anyone does, you can pipe up. The applications for on-campus accommodation opening. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I might ask my colleague Katie just to pop in the link to the UC Residences website, which is most likely detailed there, or we can follow up with you afterwards. And then one more question: does the mechanical engineering masters differ to the materials masters or energy systems, or how do they differ maybe in their content?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Probably at the advanced master's level, the specialist subjects you would take in each one would be unique to those three masters. So let's say in the materials masters, you would do advanced polymers, you would do technical ceramics, you would do thermodynamics and kinetics. In the energy systems masters, you would do things like renewable energy, power operations, electricity generation, and then in the mechanical masters you'd really build on those first, second, third year mechanical modules. So you would do advanced fluids, advanced dynamics, advanced manufacturing. So it's less specialist and more broad, whereas the materials and the energy systems masters would be more specific.
Okay, great. And then maybe just one more question is in relation to becoming a chartered engineer. Is that possible after doing a 1 year program?
Yes, so Engineers Ireland have a number of routes to chartership. So when you want to become a chartered engineer, you have to satisfy their educational requirement and then you have to satisfy their work experience requirement. So if you have a bachelor's and then you have, let's say, a 1 year master's, and then I think about 5 years work experience, you can apply for chartership under one particular route. If you have a bachelor's and the 2 year accredited master's, that opens up a different route to chartership. Or if you have an engineering undergraduate and then you do, let's say, an MBA and have a number of years work experience, again, there's a different route to chartership. But ultimately, once you have an engineering undergrad and some type of master's, there are different routes to chartership with Engineers Ireland.
Great. Thank you very much. That's all the questions that we have open. So we have come to the end of our webinar. Before we wrap up, just to let you know that if you do have any follow-up questions or like any additional resources, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And Katie has popped her and my email address in the chat there as well. And then just thank you to everyone for joining us. We truly appreciate your time and engagement, all your questions today. Hope you found it useful. I hope we look forward to connecting with you in the future. And then also just a big thank you to our speakers, to Vincent, to Adishri, and to Yashraj, and to everyone who joined us for the webinar today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.
Bye.